Oh, yes, indeed. Bob Baker here, coming to you live with a little webcast called. I love these high tech graphics. So, can you see that? The three biggest social media marketing or mistakes musicians make. That is a mouthful. Media musician mistakes make the three biggest social media mistakes that musicians make. Can you read that there? And yeah, I'm going to cover those here. So let's get to the three biggest social media mistakes that musicians make. Number one, yes, let's bring me, please do. Number one is putting the medium before the message. Putting the medium before the message. And what do I mean by that? So that's basically the medium is like the avenue, it's the tool, it's what you use to get the word out. And so what happens is like a musician will have, let's say like they have a gig and they want to promote it, whether it's this big event like a CD release party or maybe just their normal gig at a certain venue. And so the immediate thing is, let's get the word out. And so they think, oh, let's create a Facebook event page. Oh, let's write a press release and post it on such and such site. Let's do an email blast to our list. And hopefully you have an email list. And so that's the immediate thing is you go right to how you're going to get the word out. Let's blast it out on Twitter. Let's do a live Periscope thing. Without thinking about what the message is. So the medium is the vehicle that you use to get your message out, but the message is what are you actually going to say about it? And so really it's more from a marketing perspective, it's actually better to stop before you start blasting all these things out and think, well, what do we want to convey? What about this thing are we going to put out there? And so stop and consider what your angle is or what your hook is for that thing. What's the message first? Because you can make it a lot more interesting. So here's some questions I got that I've noted here on my other computer screen. It's like, what's interesting about this to fans? And quite often musicians and anyone doing self-promotion, they first think about themselves. Well, I have a gig. I want to promote my gig, so they promote the gig. But first ask yourself, well, what is in this for the person that I'm blasting this stuff out to? What's interesting about this? How can we make this thing more interesting? So, for instance, if you have a music gig at a venue, I'm just using that as a common thing that you go to promote. What about that is interesting? Are you there for the first time? Is there something about the atmosphere there that you want to convey to your fans to entice them to come out? Maybe they have cool art, or they have amazing food, or there's something about it that is intriguing and makes it really a cool environment to hang out in. What's the experience they're going to have when they go there? If it's a place you play often, can you do something interesting and make it a theme night? Make it a special, everyone who dresses up like such and such, I don't know, give it some theme related to the season. Or a really cool thing to do is to look up those sites, more goodies, more. Is to go to one of those this day in history sites, or go to actually on Wikipedia. If you go, you can just put in like a date, and it'll tell you all the interesting things that happened on that date over the years. People that were born, people that died, and so maybe you could find out. It's like I always use the example. Maybe you find out it's William Shatner's birthday the weekend that you're playing somewhere. You can say anybody who comes undressed up like a Star Trek character either gets in free or they get a special prize. So how can you put a positive spin on it? Think about the message first. What are you going to do to make this thing interesting? Then focus on the medium and how you're going to get the word out. So that's one mistake. It's a marketing mistake in general, but particularly on social media. So, hello to my boyfriend Yomar. Okay, is he on the chat? I take it. Well, one thing I'm doing on this. I just signed up for last night. I'm doing for the first time. There is this website called Catch. It's Katch. And apparently it will actually is actually recording this, is going to have a permanent home. So on Periscope, those of you that are power users know that these videos only last for the 24 hours and then they're gone. And on this Catch site, which I'm at catch.me/Mr. Buzz Factor, it's MR Buzz Factor, they're supposed to capture these and like leave them up there indefinitely. And so I'm trying it for the first time, and we'll provide a link to it after the webcast here. We often do themed shows that for that very reason. Our last one was pants optional. That's from Des and Carol. I like that. Now that gets attention, you know. I'm assuming that people will really wear their pants unless you're at some sort of a nudist colony or something. However, yeah, wouldn't that get your attention? Come to our pants optional show this Saturday, as opposed to, hey, we're playing again at Barney's Bar and Grill. All right, so number one, as I mentioned, was putting the medium. Oh, and it's an underwear party. Okay, putting the medium before the message, which I just covered. Number two is primarily a mistake. Is primarily doing announcement posts. So this is sort of like the knee-jerk reaction from people that have good intentions. I mean, if you're out there doing anything online to promote yourself, congratulations, because a lot of musicians don't even try. So if you're posting anything, good for you. This is not about beating you up or making you feel like you're wrong. It's just about fine-tuning what you're doing. And so a lot of musicians, I'll go to their Facebook pages or their Twitter accounts, and it's all announcements post. Hey, we're playing here. The CD's available on sale now. Go and vote for us in this poll. And when it's only a one-way, it's like you get up on a soapbox and you just shout out, hey, I've got something for sale. Hey, we're playing here. That's boring. And so I know a lot of musicians that say that they take a lot of action on social media, on Facebook and Twitter and so on. And they say, well, I'm not really getting much of a response. Nobody's coming and nobody's buying anything. And one of the reasons, it's not the only one, one of them is that all you're doing is using your social media platforms to make announcements. And that's not very effective. And so there's a lot of things that you can do besides the announcement promotional posts. Post helpful links that would be of interest to your fans. So think of yourself as a resource on topics that are of interest to your ideal fans. So what if you come across, let's say you're a Appalachian bluegrass band, right? And that's your specialty, that's your niche. And so let's say you as you're searching YouTube, you come across these other artists and you come across this amazing Appalachian bluegrass band video. Share that with your fans, or you come across an article or an interview or something related to that topic, or maybe it's Cajun, I don't know, whatever. It's not Cajun food necessarily if it's Appalachian, but something related to your genre that you know would be of interest in your fans. Provide helpful links. Also share your journey. People love to live vicariously through artists. So if you can post things about you in the studio, you on the road, what it's like to be an artist, what the insight into the creative process, that's a lot more appealing. It'll draw people in a lot more than you just saying, hey, we're playing here on such and such a date. So make, again, ask yourself, what's going to be of interest? Think about that message. What's going to be of interest to my fans, and how can I engage them and pull them in to my world? So that's mistake number two, is primarily doing announcement posts on social media. Again, on our big countdown of the 3 biggest social media mistakes musicians make, a lot of M's there, is number 3, not making it a two-way conversation. I kind of touched on that there. Not making it a two-way conversation. So sometimes, again, I will go to an artist's Facebook page or some social media site, and there are people that are actually commenting, oh, preach, brother, I will. Can I get an amen from the audience? Please, by all means, post your amen there with an exclamation point or 3. So, amen. Thank you very much. So you go to their posts, and their fans are actually like commenting, leaving comments, and even praising them and say, well, I really loved your show. Thank you, GJ Sirius. I'm sure I butchered that name. Yeah, thanks for the hearts. Give me some hearts too while you're here. They're not interacting with their fans. It's a one-way. They post announcements, their fans come and comment, and then there's no interaction going on. Thank you. I see multiple colors of purple and green hearts flowing there. Hopefully you can see this in the replay, otherwise you'll think I'm hallucinating. So what you want to do is interact with, respond to and acknowledge the comments that people are leaving. At the very least on Facebook, you can just hit that little like button. That's like the easy way out, lowest the easiest form of interaction, but just take a moment to respond to the comments that people are leaving. And also do this with acknowledging people that share your stuff too. Say, hey, thanks for spreading that on to your friends. A great way to have a two-way conversation is to ask questions. So earlier I was talking about promoting your gig this Saturday night, whether it's pants only or optional or whatever. You could ask questions, and a really good one would be, hey, we're trying to come up with a song list for our set. And thanks for sharing this, Giancarlo Tavares. I appreciate that. So instead of just saying, yeah, we're playing here, come on out. Say we're trying to come up with a set list. What would you like to hear? Like actually have them be involved in you creating your song list for that night. Take requests ahead of time. That's a way to engage them. But you can just ask general questions. What's your favorite love song of all time? What's your favorite Appalachian bluegrass song of all time? And a real biggie for two-way conversations is to thank your fans often. Always, brother. We are one. Yes. Awesome. Cool. I agree. And so, just shower your fans and followers with praise and gratitude on a regular basis, because they are the reason that you're able to do what you do. You have someone to share it with. And so thank them often and actually give them, well, you might want to do this through your email list so that there's an incentive to get on your list, but actually send them special perks. You can do it on social media too. Give them free downloads or songs that you're working on or some behind the scenes video clip or whatever. But mainly just express your gratitude. Say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You can do that individually, like when someone leaves a comment, thank them personally in a response, and you just do sort of more generic expressing your appreciation for the whole entire fan base. And so those are my three main tips. I actually have a bonus tip here. It's a mistake that musicians make when they're trying to promote themselves on social media. The bonus tip is you get frustrated. You take the damn things too seriously. And so just chill out. I know there's so much frustration. I don't get Facebook, and why am I doing all this stuff? And I understand. I feel that frustration too. And again, that you kind of thank you so much for who you are and what you do. I appreciate that. Thank you. And likewise, thank you for thanking me. I'm thanking you back. But yeah, a mistake is to get overly serious and like lose sight of why you're doing this. So I know when you're just going through the tactics of posting things and you're spending time creating content or links or whatever. What's the purpose of this? So you got to attach it to a bigger reason why. Hopefully your why has something to do with not only a need to express yourself, but a need to share your music and touch people in meaningful ways. And the only way you're going to be able to touch large numbers of people is if you create awareness and you make connections with fans and start relationships with them. And that's the reason that you're doing this stuff. It's not just so you can post more stuff and links and announce more gigs and waste time on social media. It's the purpose is to connect with people. And sometimes it seems like you're just shouting and no one's paying attention. That's probably because you're making announcements. Sometimes you don't see immediately the results, but just chip away at it. And also don't burden yourself with having to know it all and do it all. Share your story and engage in dialogue. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Share your own journey as an artist. And so you'll never know it all. You'll never do it all. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. I don't know it all. I don't do it all. I do as much as I can within reason. And over time, even a little bit every day, done consistently, repetitively, over time, it does build up. You will see more and more traction from it as long as you're genuinely trying to connect with people and share your music with the people that are really going to resonate with it. Tips for singers to inspire and monetize our dreams locally. Let me come back to that. I might do some Q&A at the very end of this. But related to this frustrated thing, I just want to make you aware of, I have a new blog post and kind of a special offer going. There was a teleclass series that I did some months ago called Social Media Music Marketing Made Easy. And it was like 3 different sessions and all these, I don't know, it's basically a way to wrap your brain around there's two parts to it. One, it was how to determine an easy way to determine what you should be focusing on. So because you do not have to be on all of the sites. And people always ask, what's the best use of my time? Well, in part one of this thing, it covers how to determine that, and some simple 4-step kind of process of figuring that out. And the other one is like this checklist of content marketing ideas for musicians, because people go, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to share. Well, after you read this, check out and consume this thing, you'll never have writer's block about what to share online. So anyway, if you go to my main music website, thebuzzfactor.com, and click on the blog tab, especially if you do it today or this week, the first thing at the top of the list will be social media music marketing sucks ? And click that. There's a little blog post about it, and it links to more information about how to get that. Just a special low price. It's like no more than a couple of sets of good guitar strings will get you this resource. And I threw in an additional course that's worth like $50 that comes with it. All for just really, really hardly any money whatsoever. And so I encourage you to go to thebuzzfactor.com and click the blog tab and look for that social media marketing sucks post, and there's more about it there. And so yeah, if in our remaining minutes, if you'd have any kind of questions, I'll try to field a couple here before I sign off. But I want to respect your time and get on to some other stuff. I think there was one, I forgot what it was, about monetizing for singers or songwriters or something or other. If you have a question, go ahead and post it there. Otherwise, we'll slowly wrap things up here. And I'm interested to see how this Catch website that I mentioned earlier is going to work. Tips. What was the tips thing there, Jean Carlos? That might be the French pronunciation. I don't know. Is it? Maybe it's pronounced a different way. I emailed you a while back regarding your podcast, or for singers to inspire and monetize our dreams locally. Tips for singers to inspire and monetize our dreams locally. Well, you could certainly having a regular gig. Yes, please. Yes, do. French, Italian. Okay, so it is probably Jean Carlos, I'm guessing, for light workers. So locally, yeah, I mean, you can, if you have like a regular gig at a place and you build that up, that's one way to do it. Yeah, actually, I heard there was a guy, he had a great idea. I can't remember. I think he took one of my classes or courses or something some years ago, and he like hosted an open mic night in his town. I don't know if it was weekly or monthly, and they had different theme nights. And so in addition, most open mic nights are just kind of anything goes, and sometimes they have poetry, and it's just kind of a wide range of people. And he ended up doing like maybe once a month, like a theme night where everybody came in and they did like Bob Dylan songs, or they did a certain genre. And that was like a cool way of actually having a theme night or a special way to differentiate certain gigs from just, it's just another open mic night. And so do something creative like that. Yeah, actually, if you host some sort of songwriters night at a venue, see, we've been having success with house concerts as well. Awesome. Yeah, you should check out my friend Shannon Curtis. I interviewed her on my Artist Empowerment Radio podcast, and she has a book out called something about house concerts. Yeah, she's like the queen of house concerts. So Shannon Curtis is her name. Curtis, yeah, so check her out. And her book is on Amazon. And so, yeah, good. You did hear that interview. It's awesome. And so, so if you like hosted a songwriters night where you kind of, hopefully attract some of the best songwriters in your town, and you're the person who runs that, you benefit in so many ways. You become your profile has risen in your city. And you connect with the other songwriters. Maybe you start collaborating with them, as opposed to this being another guy sitting out in the audience or going to open mic nights. If you're the one who's putting those on, it is better to attack outside your state and city with your music, or is it better to attack outside your state and city with instead of your own city? I think, yeah, if you can. There is this phrase, and I've even used it in my own in my own thing here, because I lived my entire life in St. Louis, and there's this phrase, "You're never a hero in your own hometown," which I think that might actually be from the Bible or something originally. I'm not sure of the original source, but yeah, you're always more appreciated, it seems, when you're from somewhere else. However, I don't think you can. I think there's a way to build up, like as I was just talking about with that songwriter night concept or whatever. I think you can build up your reputation in your own city. But yeah, get out. And you don't have to go on a massive nationwide tour, but maybe pick certain cities an hour or two or so away and go there on a regular basis. And so target those cities and really try to build up some sort of a fan base there. So yeah, if you're like only playing there once every 6 months or once a year in these other nearby cities, yeah, you could build up something to where it's not just, oh, I can't catch him this week, I'll see him to catch him next week or next month at his regular gig, when this is the only time you're going to be there for 6 months or to a year. And you put on an awesome show that people are talking about, and their friends go, "Oh, you got to check out this person or this duo or whatever the next time they're in town." Yeah, that's so do both. If you I wouldn't ignore your local market. And and a lot of people are down on their local music scenes, like the local, nobody supports anybody. Well, instead of just waiting for someone else to make it better for you, take the reins yourself and ask a better question, like, what can I do to make my local music scene better? And maybe it is starting a regular event. So be the part of the solution, not just don't focus on the problem and exacerbate it or whatever. So those are my best tips on that. And so I think with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. Again, thanks for listening here to the 3 biggest social media mistakes that musicians make. Recap here: putting the medium before the message, which I covered earlier. Primarily doing announcement posts. I will have a link to the replay in case you came in late. Not making it. Don't make it a two-way conversation. You're welcome. And the bonus tip is getting frustrated. And if you want a resource that'll really help you with your social media music marketing, go to thebuzzfactor.com. And if you do that in the near future here, click on the blog tab there. At the top will be one that's called Social Media Sucks with a question mark. Check that out and see if that resource resonates with you, because I got some really cool stuff and a special price on it for the very near future. So this was awesome. I hope you're enjoying these Periscopes. If I'll continue to do more of them if you like them, and I'm doing some good. And listen and subscribe to Bob's podcast on iTunes. That's right. So on iTunes, you can search for The Creative Entrepreneur. It's one of them, or search for Artist Empowerment Radio. Those are my 2 main podcasts. Also, Internet Book Promotion. However, I have not done a new episode of that in a while. But there's still some good stuff there if you're into marketing books. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you soon. This is Bob Baker saying so long for now.